When I was in business school, I would sit in the audience and these speakers would come up and speak, and they all would say the same thing. They would say, follow your passion. And after a while, I remember thinking to myself, if one more speaker gets up here and says, follow your passion, I am literally going to jump out the window or throw them out the window, or maybe both. But what I'm realizing is they actually weren't wrong. And 25 years after business school, I've lived a good part of my life not doing something I was excited about, not following my passion, and I've lived part of it really doing something that I had a ton of energy for, and there is absolutely no comparison. So the advice was fantastic advice and well-meaning. It just wasn't helpful because I didn't know what my passion was or how to find it. So that's what this video is really going to be about. It's about how to actually find your passion and how to pull that into your life right now. This is an exercise I do with my students, and it's called 9 Lives. And the way that it works is you basically construct 9 separate lives, each of which you're really excited about. All the lives start from where you are today. You don't go back in time, and you start going forward from today in a different path for each one of these 9 lives. So let's dive into the exercise. I'm going to do it for myself, and then I want you to do it alongside of me. You can also pause the video. You can come back to it, but for now, just try to go along with me and do it. We'll do it together. When I was graduating from business school, my first life was I was going back to my prior job in my prior industry, and I was going to live in the Bay Area. And so that's life 1. So life 1 is really going to start with the life you're pursuing right now. That's your first life. So next, pick a second life. And the second life is something you'd be really excited about having. Again, it starts from right now. So again, when I was in business school, second life for me might have been that I wanted to start my own company, be an entrepreneur, be a CEO. That was something I was really excited about. So that's life 2. Life 3 might be, I want to be a professor at Stanford Business School. I'd been a case guest before and I had tons of energy whenever I was in the classroom. So that might be life 3. Life 4 was I was a father and I wanted to be really involved with my kids, coach their little league team. Life 5 might be I really love writing. I do it in my free time. It's a real hobby of mine. So I'd be an author and I would write maybe a nonfiction book or a fiction book and spend my energy on that. That would be life 5. Really think outside the box, come up with your fun ideas because you get 9 lives, so really throw yourself into them. Life 6, I'd be a monk, and I really mean that. I'd be a monk. These lives can be really different out of the box, but that would be really fun for me. I'd meditate, I'd become really understand my thoughts, understand myself, and ultimately maybe become enlightened. So that'd be life 6. Speaking of out of the box, life 7 for me, I might be a DJ in Vegas. I'd spend my days mixing music, creating crazy mixes, and then I'd be on stage at 2 o'clock in the morning. That would be so fun. So that would be life 7. Life 8, I always want to be a professional athlete. And again, in these lives, you can't go back in time. So I can't go back and be 20, but I would want to be the #1 tennis player in the world in my age group, starting from today. Life 9, I think I would be a motivational speaker of some kind or YouTube influencer. So I create content that really made a difference in people's lives. So I would have like 2 million subscribers. So like and subscribe to this video, but no, really subscribe. So how did that feel? You just finished 9 different separate lives starting from today. My guess is there was something in there that gave you a lot of excitement and energy. So you know what we just did in this exercise? You just found your passion. And guess what? It's not one thing. There's 9 things you're passionate about. And I think that's one of the things that people get so wrong is and that's so intimidating about finding your passion. You're supposed to think that there's one thing and you're supposed to know it and you're supposed to do it for the rest of your life, but that's not really how it works. So let me talk about how you can actually use this exercise to improve your life right now. So I'm hoping you did this exercise, you wrote these down. If you haven't done that, save this video, come back and do that. And once you have these 9 lives written down, ask yourself these 4 questions for each one. So the first question is, how exciting is this life for me on a scale of 1 to 10? The second question is, with whom do I get to share my life if I pursue this particular path? The third one is, what am I going to get to learn? How am I going to grow in pursuit of this life? And the fourth one is, who do I get to be if I pursue this life? So now that you've done all that, here comes the very most important part. You ready? Which of these lives do you absolutely have to pursue in this one lifetime of yours? There's 2 ways that you can use this exercise to inject more passion in your life. The first way is to find one of those 9 lives and just pull part of it into your current life right now. The second way is you have one of those lives that you have to go toward, and you're going to either quickly or slowly start to pivot your life toward one of those other lives. Either way, what you're going to do is you're going to tap into a great source of energy and you're going to feel way more excited about your life. The greatest gift I could give someone is the gift of them being able to spend their life doing something that they're excited about. So I'll give you an example in my life. I was running my firm for 10 years and I was getting a little bit burnout, and it was feeling a little bit monotonous. And one of my other lives was teaching, and I had a lot of energy every time I went down to Stanford Business School and I was a case guest. And I just started following that energy and pulling that into my life, which turned into going down there 1 day a year, and then 2 days a year, and then 3 days a year, and then panels. And then eventually I taught a class. I had so much excitement and energy for teaching that it started lighting a fire in the entire rest of my life. And it made me a better CEO, maybe a better parent, and it made me way better at my job. So one way of just pulling something from those other 8 lives is it will light a fire in your current life. We have, obligations to meet, and we can't just switch it off. And that, by the way, is also really intimidating when people say, follow your passion. So the way you can do that is you can start just moving toward one of those other lives. So again, using myself as an example, when I had a job and I had rent and I had bills to pay and I had business school debt, one of my lives that I was excited about was working with these tiny little companies. And so I started just spending my nights and weekends studying them. I would go visit them. And little by little, I started expanding the amount of time I spent until I could actually see my path to doing that full time. And it took years. So it's not like it has to be something you do tomorrow, but you could pull that life and activities that are going to start moving you toward one of those lives into this current life. The reason that every speaker came up and who spoke to me and said, go follow your passion, is because they had done it. And they had realized how much energy and power and enjoyment they got from doing that. And they want to give you that same gift. So what we just walked through was a way to not only find your passion, but a way to bring it into this life. Because as Confucius said, we all have 2 lives, and the second one begins when we realize we only have one. I've used this exercise many times in my life, and what I've realized is you actually can have all 9 lives, just not all at once. So what did you learn today that you can pull into your life right now? I'd love to know, did this help you find your passion? Let me know in the comments.